Righto, folks. Just before we start show 73 with Ricky Russell, just a shout out to anyone involved around the fires in California. Bushfires, man, they are something that is definitely close to my heart and my head. In From my own experience in Australia here, so big. Big hugs and good thoughts to anybody that's suffering, and a big old fucking good on you to all the firefighters that are helping out there. So yeah, and best of luck. Get that shit under control. Hey, all right. And also just a happy new year to the rest of the world for 2025. Let's get into it. The looking forward to bringing you another at least 52 shows this year. Cheers. The 212. This is the Outside Gate with Steve Hall on the L4 Media Network. And for episode 73, we're going into the woods. Ricky Russell, how are you?
Good. How about you?
I'm great, man. I'm great. I say the
Good.
same thing every episode, I think, but I'm always great when I get to do a bit of bench racing and talk about moto and talk about dirt bikes, man. So,
For
um,
sure.
yeah, thanks for your time today. Ricky's just been out on the mountain bike, and yeah, but he's we've got some news. You got a new team this year, man. It just I think the news broke on that maybe just a few days ago. So yeah, tell us about your new ride.
No. Yeah, you were wanting to do this a little earlier, and I was kind of like, oh, it kind of worked out better that we didn't, because the news is out now, and I'm riding for Enduro Engineering, and Triumph is supporting us, so it's really cool to get Triumph a little bit, kind of get their feet wet and off road. So first, kind of the first off road rider really getting any support from Triumph, so I'm pretty excited about that. And so far so good with the new bike. It's been good. It's been a little bit of learning curve. I've been riding the 250 because that's what's available right now. We will get 450s a little more when they're more developed and a little more out. So for now, I've been on a 450 for so long. So now jumping back to 250, just trying to change up the riding style a little bit. Got to ride her a little harder, shift a little more, and yeah, a little more revving. So it's been good though. I've been happy. We just got down here to Florida last week, so kind of just come down to Florida, kind of get a month boot camp in, and shake out off the off season cobwebs and get dialed in for the season coming quick.
Cool, man. So, how much
Yeah.
support is Factory Triumph giving you? Like, they're sort of a factory backed team, or is Enduro Engineering just decided to run Triumphs?
No. Yeah. So I'm new with Enduro Engineering, so but I know them very well. I've known them for years, and they supported Josh Toth last year, and he's a good friend of mine. And he raced national enduros and just did like select GNCCs, and but he rode every single make and model he could. He was just whatever make had the most contingency, he was riding it. So now with me going into enduro engineering, they were like trying to get one OEM to hopefully kind of support their team, and we they reached out. Alan reached out to Triumph, and it took a little bit, and I think they finally came back with yeah, some good support through Triumph. So it's directly through them and going to me and Enduro Engineering. So I'm hopefully we'll just be able to kind of do some R&D and wear and tear on the bike before the season, and everything will be great.
Awesome. Yeah. So you are getting that
Yeah.
factory support. That's cool. So tell me a bit
Yep.
about Enduro Engineering. So I don't, I've seen the brand, but I don't really know, who they are really.
Yeah, so I mean, they've been around forever, building. Know them just from like skid plates and other armor type stuff. And I mean, I rode actually for a team in 2014 and 15, and we were supported by Enduro Engineering. And it's funny now, like, yeah, we're 8 years later or whatever, 10 years later, I guess, actually. Um, and now I'm writing for them actually directly. But yes, they've just been involved with the sport for many, many years, and always building new things for new models, and every sort of uh, different model of bike. They do a lot of adventure bike stuff, all sorts of stuff. So more on the like body armor on dirt bikes and that type of stuff. But they do a lot of other things too. And I'm like I said, I'm kind of new being so direct with them, and it's been a good crew to get to know. I got to go visit their shop earlier this or middle of last year, and it was pretty cool how big the factory actually is. They got like lots of robots doing things 24/7, and just yeah, I think Alan, the owner, he's just been around the sport for so long. He's raced national enduros. He was very competitive at that for many years, and I think he just likes to be still involved in the racing side of things. So they do all the building and the making stuff for dirt bikes, but he still likes to be involved in racing, and so that's where he does the racing team as well.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. I like it, man. Yeah. Yeah, it'd be
Yep.
interesting to see. It'd be good to see how you go this year. I know Triumph's having a red hot go. Like they got Johnny Walker doing enduro cross, and they've just
Yeah.
loaded up. They've just loaded up the for Supercross and that sort of thing. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's
I mean, it's a new, to me, like outside looking in, a new manufacturer. Their first year, they were pretty impressive last year
mm,
in Supercross. I mean, they came out, and usually it takes a good couple of years for a new OEM to kind of figure things out. And I was pretty impressed with, I mean, you had Jalik Swoll, whole shotting and getting on the box, and just, I mean, a lot of guys that were competitive with a brand new motorcycle. So I think they
mm.
did it right, and they took like I said, from the outside looking in, it looks like they took a little bit of the best things from a lot of different models and put them into one. So, like I said, right now, I've been really happy with the motorcycle, and it's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I agree with about what they've done
Hmm.
so far. I think it's exceptional, to be honest. I know I had Scuba Steve on the show a while back there, and I said this to him, and he's a little bit more, of course, he's competitive beast. He wanted more from the season, but for when you sort of, especially an old bloke like me, you've seen manufacturers come and go, and a lot of new manufacturers,
Yeah,
it's just been a fucking disaster, in the past, and
yeah,
and to just get some good results and have a good motorcycle, particularly having a good motorcycle, some good results, and the way they went about it, with the gathering such a good team of people to design the bike. They just grabbed the best people in the world, and
yeah,
I'm a
yeah. You got
fan of the
Ricky
whole thing. I think it's
Carmichael.
really cool. Yeah, yeah,
Yep,
you
and
know,
then they had Kiefer, and I mean, they
yeah.
had a lot of people
Jeff
involved that
Stanton,
know what they're
yeah.
doing. Yeah, Stanton, and
And then
it's I
even
think
like you might not, you would have heard the name, you probably don't, you wouldn't remember him, but Dave Arnold is like mega legend of bike development,
yeah,
like mega
yep,
from the works bike era. And they got
yeah.
Dave probably out of retirement, I guess, to work for them. And yeah, it's really cool, man. Really,
Definitely
really cool.
seems like they didn't cut any corners, and they kind of
Mm,
took their time to do it right. So yeah, I think that's showing too. And now, like you said, they hired a pretty stacked Supercross team for 250. So that's
mm.
exciting too.
It is exciting, man. Yeah, we might
Yeah,
we'll see how we go for time, man. We might talk a little bit about the Supercross coming up, starting this
yeah,
weekend. But I want to talk a bit more about bit about you first, man. So, dude,
hmm,
Duval, Washington, is that right? That's hometown,
yep,
dude.
yep.
That's
Duval, Washington.
a long way to
Yeah,
Florida, man. Like that.
it's kind of
You couldn't
the
be
opposite. Yeah.
further away in the United States from Florida, pretty much, could you? Yeah,
Not really. I could head south. I could head to Miami, where I'm at, from where I'm
yeah,
at. So yeah, about the furthest state away
yeah.
in America. So yeah,
So is your family, most of your family, still in Washington?
Yep. So I was born and raised in Washington, and most of my family's all there. So I still spend the off seasons and some of the little bit of time we get off in Washington. And then like typically this time of year, the weather is really crappy there. So we that's why we head to Florida and kind of get a good boot camp in because GNCCs and national enduros are more on the East Coast. So I started racing GNCCs 2013 was my first year, and so we kind of hubbed out of South Carolina. It's kind of a good central area for at least the first half of the season. All the races are kind of down in this area, so but now with the weather, like just we want to get a good boot camp in January. So everyone it's kind of the routine now. Everyone heads to Florida for at least a month or a month and a half to get a really good grind in and get ready for round one.
That's it, man. That's it. So
Yeah.
what was the racing scene like around your hometown in Washington? Like, did you? Yeah. Oh, wait. Well, tell
So
us. Yeah. Well,
yeah, you
I'll
want
ask the
the
usual
whole
question, man. The usual question is, when did the bug bite? Tell me about that first mini bike, man, and your early days.
well well I didn't funny story. I didn't start racing until I was 16. I was pretty late to the game compared to most athletes now. They're racing when they're little kids, start going through all the ranks and kind of getting better and better at racing as they get older. And I rode my whole life, and all I thought about was dirt bikes. But it was mainly just at home in Washington, me and the family and a couple groups of friends. We would all go camping and every weekend go camping and go riding. So I grew up just riding and in the mountains in Washington. So we would do that, and it was just trail riding really. I never really rode moto or did anything like that. Just trail rode with the family and friends. And as I got older, I mean, I obviously got better, and then when I could drive, a friend in high school was like, "You need to come try one of these races." And I was like, "Yeah, it's in the woods." And they're like, "Yeah, it's all hare scramble." So went and tried it, and it was like 2.5 hours. I remember it seeming like the longest time I've ever ridden straight in my life. I was smoked, but I won the B class that day, and I was like, man, I was kind of hooked from then on. So the next year I raced the whole season there. It's just a local. It's called NMA, and I raced that whole season. I raced for like four years of that, and kind of went from pretty much B class. The first year I raced A class, and then I went to Double A Pro and ended up winning that quite a few times. And everyone was like, you need to go try something bigger and better." So um, I was trying. There's not a lot of off-road racing on the West Coast. There is, but it's more California based. And
Yeah.
so I mean, at a national level, there's racing, but at a national level, it's all more California based. And
Mm.
I went and tried some desert stuff and some different things, and it just wasn't really my thing. I ended up in the hospital a few times, and just I wasn't about the desert stuff really. So I ended up loading up my van in 2013 and just driving over and giving GNCC a go. And little by little, every year, we've gotten better and got more and more support, and ended up where I am now. So pretty wild.
Yeah, it's awesome. Awesome. Yeah. Yeah, I love it. But just for the Aussies, for perspective for Aussie listeners, it'd be like a kid from let's say from Broome, like a kid from Broome, just loading up and driving across country to race a series that's in Victoria. So yeah,
Yeah.
crazy,
Yeah, it's pretty
crazy.
much from my house to the place I went to, South Carolina. It's 42 to 48 hours driving straight. So
Yeah,
it's a pretty solid
yeah,
drive, and I've made that drive quite a few times for those first 5 or 6 years I was doing it. Now I try to stay away from that now. I try to
yeah,
fly,
yeah.
fly
You
back
got
and
you
forth.
got bikes in both areas, and you can just fly.
Yes,
Yeah, yeah,
yes, yeah. Enough stuff and on both sides of the country.
yeah, yeah.
So,
That's the
yep.
That's the go. That's the go. Do your mum and dad and that get over, get down to Florida and all the GNCC? Do they get to many GNCCs?
They don't, not a lot. They've been to
Mm.
a few, just to come see what it's about. And actually, the last one they came to was in 23, and I actually won, so that was really exciting. Because like I said, they don't come to a lot, but they watch every single one on TV when they're at home. They watch it live, so it's cool. It's cool that the GNCC does that. But yeah, this year our main focus is national enduro actually,
Yep.
but we'll be starting out doing the GNCCs and then kind of seeing how it's going and reevaluate whether we want to continue doing all of them or to kind of do a lot of other one-off events that are kind of bigger, just kind of spread our racing around a little more instead of just focus so much on just GNCC. So that's kind of Alan's with enduro engineering kind of motto, kind of just to spread sponsors and love out everywhere. So
Yep.
we're hoping to do a little more on both coasts and kind of maybe possibly go to Europe once or twice. We will see
Okay.
though. We'll see how
Yeah.
that goes.
Like
So
do a
yeah,
do a do a world enduro or something like that. Like,
yeah. That was kind of in the works a little bit, and
yeah.
we were hoping that could happen. So we'll see. And with Triumph helping, we might be able to make that
Yes.
happen a little
Yeah,
easier.
yeah.
So
Of course. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, that makes
yeah,
sense. You get they'd be able to certainly give you support, especially if it's one that's in England, So that's
yep,
obviously
yep,
their base, yeah. Yeah,
yep,
geez, that'd
exactly.
be really cool. Really cool to see
It's just something a little
yeah.
different for me. So yeah, I've been doing that. Like I said, I've been doing GCCs just nonstop for the last 10, going on actually 12 years. So it's crazy. Time flies. It's like does not seem like it's been that many years. But yeah, first year was 13, so we're going on to 12.
Was 13, was that on the Suzuki? That was Suzuki
No,
days?
that would be 16 actually.
Okay, yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, 13 I went over there with zero help at all, just mom and dad, and I bought some bikes, and I made it till summer break, was out of money, and I had to actually fly home and work all summer break and then fly back, and just I had enough money to finish the season, and I got a little bit
Yeah,
of support for the next, actually got a ride for the next 2 years for XC2, and that was on Yamaha.
yeah.
And then that next year I had to go to XC1 because of an age rule they just started making.
Mm,
And so I went to Suzuki and we did XC1 our first year. And then towards the end of that year, we were starting to do good and we got our first XC1 podium and we got a few more podiums and then went to the Ampro Yamaha team for 17, 18, 19. And then went to coastal racing. It was Husqvarna for 20, and then factory gas stepped in
yeah,
for 21, 22, and then back to Yamaha 23, 24, and now here we are, Triumph going on a 25. That's
yeah.
quick rundown on the years of bikes I've been on. So been on a little bit of a different bikes, but it's been good.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I mostly remember you Yamaha, but then I do sort of I can remember the Suzuki as well. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'd completely forgotten about
a lot of people
Husky or
remember the
Gas. Yeah,
Suzukis. Yeah, the
yeah. I
Suzuki
think
just
it's just
because
because it
no one
was
rides them,
because
and
no one rides
yeah,
them. So if someone's
yeah,
doing something on a Suzuki, it's
yeah.
memorable. Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
reached out. I reached out to tried to reach out to Suzuki last season, and yeah, I don't know. Didn't get very far. So they need to get back into off road a little bit, though. I think they
yeah,
can
yeah.
could do well.
I think yeah. I think a lot of that
Mhm.
just all comes back to that magic button on the handlebars, doesn't it?
Yeah,
For off road,
yeah,
like it's critical, man. Like even
mm,
I say myself, like for an old bloke like me, those Suzuki's are good bikes, man. But like I
yeah,
like to do a bit of moto, but I like to do off road too. And when I do off road, I like to do a little bit of sort of technical stuff, mountains and that sort of thing, man. And I don't have long legs either, man. And there's nothing worse than being on the side of a hill having to reach for a Kickstarter, man. Like that is like,
No,
it doesn't happen often, man, but I'm
yeah.
out
When
on
it
Kickstart.
does, it
Yeah,
pisses you
yeah.
off.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's
for
the
sure.
worst, man, and yeah.
Yeah.
So and also too, like at my age, like I did it for too many years, kickstarting bikes. Like
Hmm.
so, yeah. I
Yeah.
just you got to have that magic button for off road. For moto, it doesn't matter so much unless you're super
No.
competitive. For an old bloke
Yeah.
riding
Yeah.
moto, you don't care if you got to kick it, and they start easy. But yeah, it's just that technical riding, yeah, where
Stall it here and there, and then
yeah,
you got to kick
you
it.
stuck on,
Yeah.
you crash it
Yeah.
halfway up a gnarly hill or something, man, and you've got to kickstart that thing. That is
For
just
sure.
the absolute. That's the worst, man.
I will.
The
I
worst.
will say I got quite a few hole shots on that bike too, though. And we're dead engine starts, so
Yeah,
it did. It's just technique on that though. But yeah, it did. It started well with the Kickstarter, but yeah, it would be nice during the race that when if you have any issues ever to have that button to be quicker. I've even seen Kickstart Kenny have a few issues with that when he has
that's
fallen
right.
on a motocross race or something. Yeah.
The rumor is that he has got an electric start on his bike this year
I
for
have
Supercross.
seen that. I have seen
Yeah,
that. We'll see. I don't know if it's
yeah,
production yet or not, but I have seen that
mm.
those posts. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Because the technology's there from that old the old RMX 450, which was
Yeah.
electric start.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
which and I would assume that those cases are still very similar to the cases they use now. So the technology is not too far away, but they seem to be very reluctant to
Yeah, for
to
sure.
do it. But yeah, they should appreciate that off road market more though too. Because
Yeah, it
there's
bums
a
me out a
a
little
lot of
bit that they
people,
don't. Yeah,
even a lot of people just, trail riders, the Suzuki's, it's a bit cheaper. And, for a
for
trail
sure.
rider, that's the one thing that's going to put you off. Just,
Yeah,
um,
for sure.
yeah, that's it. It'd be
Yep.
interesting to see how
Yep.
Kenny goes, man. It'd be interesting to see.
Yeah, no, yeah. I don't know. We'll see. He's not Kickstart Ken anymore. But
That's
yeah,
right.
it's
That's right.
Supercross this weekend, so it's pretty exciting. Everyone's getting amped up around here, getting ready to watch good old Supercross.
Yeah, everyone's real excited, man. What's your thoughts, man?
Yeah.
What's you got any hot takes or any big predictions or anything for the Supercross?
Nothing, no real hot takes. It's just wild with I mean, I don't want Jet to just dominate, but it's kind of hard to not say he's gonna because
Yeah,
he's damn impressive. So um I'm hoping it's just competitive. Yeah,
yeah,
just all the guys are I know Tomac's looking like he's more prepared this year coming in healthy. I mean he was healthy last year, but coming off that Achilles injury was had to be rough. So
yeah.
yeah, I'm hoping for as far as 450 class, I'm just hoping the guys are a little more competitive and Jet doesn't run away with it.
Yeah, same man, same. Like I say all the time, I'm a bad Australian because I don't want Jet to run away with
Yeah,
it.
it just
I'm
makes it.
very happy if he wins the title, but
Yeah,
win it
yeah,
at round 17 in a battle, like like
yeah,
that's it.
for sure, for sure.
And also too, like I'm a big Eli fan, and I've been an
Hmm.
Eli fan for 10 years, for longer than for 10, 13 years or whatever.
Yeah, yeah,
I've been an Eli fan since he was on Geico Honda, and
yeah,
so I can't just even though I'm an Australian, I can't just like drop that because there's a kid out there who was born in the same country as me. Like I'm invested as an Eli fan, man. Yeah, like
yeah, for sure.
he's got my heart. Like I can't just all of a sudden bag for the Australian kid and drop this guy that I've been a fan of for years. So definitely wanting Eli to win. But yeah, but that's what my heart says. But my head, man, I think Jet's gonna just smoke him. I think
I
that's kind
know.
of
It's
what my
hard
head
not
is
to.
saying. Like, yeah,
It's hard not to. But
I
and
can't.
as far as
Yeah,
yeah, as far as 250s, I'm pretty sure Deegan's going to be hard to beat as well. So
yeah. I
I'm just
think the
hoping there's some
same.
good racing. That's really where
Yeah,
all I'm at. I just want to see some good racing and hopefully not just one guy running away with it.
yeah. That's right. Yeah, that's what we
Yeah.
that's what we need to see. It's hard to know. Like Deegs in the 250s, man, he got a bit of a rough start last year with that first turn thing and all
Yeah,
that,
yep, yep.
and his wrist, and there was different things. So we probably haven't seen the best of him at Supercross. We've seen it outdoors, but not in Supercross. Haven't seen the best. So
Yeah,
yeah, be interesting to see. Like I think if Deegs turns up with his best, I think they're screwed. Like
yeah, I agree. I agree. He
yeah,
showed that. He showed that in Super Motocross.
yeah, yeah.
He kind of came out and just kind of showed them all who was boss, really. So
Yeah, yeah,
that was pretty
we do
impressive.
have that in both classes at the moment.
Hmm.
It's a long time since we've probably just like had that. I think, and we're
Yeah,
like
yeah,
both classes are just like this is what's going to happen. So back to probably Ricky and Stu when Stu was one
yep,
two fives and Ricky was two fifties. Just like we know what's going to happen here, but hopefully it
yep,
doesn't, though, man. Hopefully that we get some battles and
yep, yep.
I don't want that to be because of one of them guys gets hurt or has a bike problem or whatever. I just hope that someone's found the speed to run with them. That's probably the thing that
Yep,
I
yep.
want. Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
there's some creepers there. You got. It's like he'll come out, and if he's confident, he can do it. But it's just every weekend that whole thing where I don't know.
Yeah,
Jet just it's like every weekend he's got it. So even on his bad weekends, it's like he's his worst weekend seems like he'll be on the podium no matter what. So
yeah,
I don't think all the other guys have that quite right now. So we'll see. We'll see though. I could be totally wrong.
yeah,
It's a stacked class. Even Chase, you got Chase. You got a lot
mm,
of former champions. So,
yeah,
and they're all going at it. But yeah,
yeah. It is.
for sure.
It's cool, man. That's super cool. Yeah, very excited, man. Very excited. Who's so I saw you in some FXR gear, man. That's your gear sponsor now.
Yeah, a little change up. I've been with like the same gear company for many years, but it's just kind of always been because I've been on a more like a factory program where it's team deals. So I've never
Yeah,
had my chance to get too many personal sponsors. So it was pretty cool to kind of get to reach out to some other gear companies and kind of get some things lined up. And um, FXR was right away super cool and to deal with, and kind of already built a little bit of a relationship. And we're I got my first couple sets like a month ago, and I was just impressed with how comfortable it was right out of the bag. I was like, dang, this stuff's nice. So they sent me some more, and yeah, I've been happy so far, so good. Not wearing out with the Florida grind down here, and just like I said, comfortable and just feels like quality. So we'll see how that goes as we get a little more time in it. But so far, so good on that, and I think they're a great group of guys.
yeah. I really like the brand, man. I reckon it's really
Hmm.
cool. It just looks cool, and a lot of
Yeah,
a lot of
you're
guys are
seeing it
running it and that
everywhere
sort of
now.
things.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
they're
and they've
kind of giving a big push. That's for sure. You're seeing
yeah,
a lot of guys running it. So, but for me, I'm like, sometimes you see so many people wearing things. Sometimes quality kind of will go down, and I'm like impressed with the quality. It's like yeah, it's good, really good.
yeah, yeah. It's and that's saying something too with your new gear that's a bit of a lighter material and that sort of thing. Like a lot of it doesn't last long, man. Like the
No,
new stuff.
exactly.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I always joke. I've got this. I've got a set of shift gear from early 2000s that's still not worn out. And
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
worn it so
Yep.
much.
That's the
It
old
never wore out, man. Like it's
that's the old
unbelievable
saying. They
quality.
don't make stuff like they used to.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
bought it when I bought my KTM 200 in 2004, I think. So 2004 gear, shift gear. I could
Nice.
still chuck it on now. Like it's a bit getting a bit thin in the ass and the knees, but it's pretty good, man. Like you can still wear it. It's
Yeah.
crazy how that stuff lasted.
It's
But yeah,
impressive.
new stuff. Yeah, I usually buy whatever's on clearance, man. So
For sure,
I use all
for
different
sure.
brands. Whatever's on clearance, man, will do for me. Like good, I get good helmets nowadays, but as far as the rest of my gear, yeah,
Yep,
clearance.
yep.
That's it, dude. I noticed. I always have a bit of a look at people's Instagrams and that sort of thing before they come on a guest on the show, man. And
Hmm.
I noticed some pretty cool music choices in your
Oh
videos,
yeah.
man. Like, there was I wrote a few down here. There's a bit of Tom Petty, a bit of Black Sabbath, a bit of Poison.
just
Like,
just
you're
variety.
speaking my language there, man. So is that your music taste, or is that, yeah, where did that come from?
Honestly, I don't know. I listen to it all. I listen to everything, but yeah, I just whenever I'm posting videos, sometimes I'll just look and see what they got going, and I'll listen to some of the first 10 or so songs, and sometimes some one of those will just reach out to me, so I'll pick that, and that's kind of how it goes. But yeah, they're usually that type of music. More more just goes with the flow of writing videos. Really, it just gets you
Yeah,
going. So,
I agree, man.
but yeah, nothing too crazy. But yeah, I listen to almost everything, pretty much. Just shuffle.
Do you have a favorite? Do you have a favorite like band or a favorite just like style of music?
Not really. Like I said, not really. I just listen to it all. I don't have any like certain band that I just stick to. I like it all. So nothing nothing too crazy over
That's cool, man. Well, hats off on some of them
there.
choices. It warms my old heart when I see a young bloke who's using some good tunes on his Instabangers. Because
Yeah.
so many of them use the same sort of stuff. I don't know what any of the modern rap. I don't know who any of
Yep,
them
yep.
are. I'm too old for that. But that's what's mostly on all the Instabangers. And
Hmm.
yeah, I reckon it's great when I had someone else. Oh, Mitchell Harrison. Mitchell Harrison. I remember talking to him about the same thing. He had all
Hmm.
this cool music, and he actually is really into the old music, so he loves it. So, but
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
I grew up with my parents love just 80s rock. So
yeah,
they just that's what I grew up with, a lot of 80s rock. And then
yeah,
it kind of was like as a teenager, I never listened to that. And then as I got older, I was like, I see why they listen to that. So kind of coming back into it a little more.
yeah, yeah. It's funny that, isn't it, man? Like,
Yeah.
I'm into music, like love it. I'm not a super knowledgeable music person, and I'm not a
Hmm.
musician. I just love listening to music.
Yep,
And
yep.
it's funny. There's things I listen to. Mine varies a lot, but there's things I listen to that were things my dad listened to. That I would
Yeah,
have back
yeah.
in the day. I would have been like, but now, and I
Yeah,
was like,
yeah.
this is cool, and because it gives you the memories too, man.
For
You
sure.
remember going to do things, traveling with your parents to do some cool
Yep.
stuff to get to, like my dad raced cars, so there's songs that remind me of traveling to race cars with dad and that sort of thing. So yeah, it is. It's cool, man. Righto, it's time for an ad read. Guts Racing, Greg's Ultra Chick Seats, gutsracing.com. That's a really easy website to remember, gutsracing.com. As used by Club MX, by Hep Suzuki, by Rockstar Gas, Rockstar Husqvarna, by CDR Yamaha, by Empire Kawasaki, PRMX Kawasaki, Moto Concepts Racing, Phoenix Honda, and countless privateers, including my man Scott Meshy, who says they are a butt gripper and they will make you a ripper. We've got our guy Scott Meshy coming back on the show soon too. He'll be able to tell us about what sort of gut seat he is running for 2025. You can get a huge range of colors. You can get custom seats with bumps, with wide wings. You can get tall seats in two different sizes. You can get complete seats, seat bases, seat foams, the ultralight seat foam. And of course, you can get seat covers. If you're ordering a seat cover, you can get Velcro fitment or the traditional staple gun fitment. If you do tackle the job with a staple gun, it will come with a QR code. You scan that code, it will take you to a video where you'll see the man himself, Andy Gregg, showing you the best way to install that seat cover. speaking from experience there, I used the QR code when I put the Guts seat on my Blue Crew. Get around it. Gutsracing.com. That's a really easy website to remember. Gutsracing.com. All right, let's get back into the woods and see what else our guy Ricky Russell has got to say. Dude, what do you have any? Apart from the obvious, apart from national titles, man, of course. What other goals do you have as far as your riding goes? Do you want to eventually go and do a Dakar, or have you got anything like that in the future?
Yeah, so like in the like originally I always wanted to obviously get a GNCC championship, and then I started racing national enduros too, and so now those are two main goals. But one thing like I always want to check off the list was 6 days, and I went to 6 days in 2019 and in 2019, so that was in Portugal, so that was cool, and so I checked that off the list. I wouldn't mind doing that a little more.
Yeah.
There's a few things. I've always been a little bit into like hard enduro because when it was first coming out and getting bigger, I went and did some of those like in the States. I went and did some of the ones like Tennessee Knockout and stuff like that, and I always enjoyed that. So I definitely always wanted to do Erzberg just for some reason, just wanted to give it a go. Might not now, it's such a specialty sport, it's a little bit harder to be as competitive, where like when I was doing TKO I was able to always make the main event and the main final round. So I don't know, it might be a little harder now, but I would definitely love to go do something like that. And then Dakar's like on the would be really cool, like you were just talking about, but there's so much commitment and so much funds that goes into it. Reality, I don't think it could be unless I got some really good sponsors behind me and some really good help to actually go do it. But that would be insane. Yeah, I'd be so excited for that. But yeah, this year I really wanted, when we mentioned possibly doing a race or two in Europe, that was another cool thing that I really wanted to be involved with. So hopefully we can check that off the list as well.
Yeah, that's cool. And yeah, a lot of things like, obviously the race in Europe, like we spoke about earlier, you've got some support, with being with Stronglife and that. The I've talked to a few people that have done Dakar, and if you're not on a factory team and fully backed, you need like a really rich guy to back you. Like where I had David Knight on the show, and that's how he did Dakar sort of late in his career, and he just wanted to go and just finish the event to tick the box. And he's got a cashed up friend that basically paid for it. And to the guy that's a cashed up friend, that's awesome. Is like, because you got like this legend riding your bike, and you feel part of it, feel a part of something that you wouldn't have the skills to do. So there is rich people out there that'll do it for you, but it's you gotta be lucky to find them, I guess. Because unbelievably expensive to do that race.
For sure. There's just the logistics and everything that goes into that is it's next level. So I don't know if that would ever be super possible, but it would be cool. It would be cool to do.
Absolutely. And the like Erzberg and that, you'd probably, I don't know if Johnny if Johnny's going to do Erzberg on the Triumph or not.
Triumph, I'm not sure how that's going either. I don't know. He's doing really good in the Super Enduro. He's had a little hiccups here and there, but he's been impressive, and the bike looks good. So I know that, and then Endurocross and whatnot, but I haven't heard about like the hard enduros type stuff. So we'll see.
Be interesting, because it's obviously the hard enduro is very two-stroke dominated.
Exactly.
The power delivery, suits that. Whereas the enduro cross, they sort of it's either or, depending on what you
Yeah,
like. There's probably a little bit more four stroke even nowadays, but yeah. So that's an interesting one. Yeah,
yep.
yeah,
I think one of the things is just overheating too. Like in the hard enduros, you're just sometimes you're just not moving, and so
yeah,
it's a lot easier to keep a two-stroke cool as far
yeah,
as a four-stroke. But yeah, the
yeah,
power also and the lightness of a two-stroke is pretty good when you're dragging it up a hill or down a mountain. So
yeah.
um, I don't know. I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't know exactly what his plan
Mm.
is or what's going on with that.
Yeah, and generally, like a well built two stroke can tolerate excessive heat better, even if it does get hot.
Yes,
Like they can
yes,
tolerate it a little bit better, just by the nature of the moving parts, and they're not you're not running engine oil through the top end that's boiling and all
yep,
that sort of
yep,
stuff. So yeah, yeah, yeah,
exactly.
cool, man, cool,
Yep.
dude. What's your
Yeah.
best bit of advice for young off road racers, man? So
Oh man.
another youngster that wants to have a career like you, what's your best bit of advice?
It's just really just don't give up. And I mean, that's a no-brainer, but yeah, you just got to get into it and get with the right people too. You got to, if you want to succeed, you need to surround yourself with people who want to succeed. So if everyone's got the same go at it, like go at life and look at it, how like everyone's, I don't know, if you got like right now we're down here in Florida and we all want kind of the same thing. We all want to succeed,
Yeah.
so we're all pushing each other. So it's very
Yes.
cool, and you just gotta have a good group around you, and yeah, never give up. Keep getting after it. So like I said, I came over with very minimal amount of funds and very minimal support, and just didn't give up, and we just kept grinding, and we ended up slowly working ourselves up the totem pole. So it doesn't come easy, but it's yeah, it's cool when it does work out.
Yeah, nice, man. That's the winner's mindset, isn't it? Just taking a chance. There was probably kids as fast as you, or nearly as fast as you, in Washington that didn't take the chance to
Yeah,
drive across the country. And you see it,
for
man. I've
sure.
I've seen it. I've seen it in young, Australian off road races and that sort of thing. I've seen the ones that'll lay it all on the line and sacrifice their life and that sort of thing, and then
Hmm.
the ones who would rather make sure their social life is good, and not
Yeah, yeah,
and not
yep,
and sometimes they're the most talented ones, but they fall behind
yeah,
and fall away
yeah,
because the mindset's not there. Yeah,
yep, for sure.
yeah, yeah,
Yep, surround yourself. You just gotta be positive and around positive people, and just yeah, keep like you said, take that chance, because if you
yeah.
don't, you'll never know. You,
That,
I mean, I was hesitant, and then when I finally just committed and did it, I mean, I would never do it differently. I'm glad I did and took the chance and just gave it a go. You can always do whatever you would be doing a year later. If it doesn't work out, or 2 years later, you can go do that. So
yeah.
time flies by, that's for sure.
Who's your training group now? Like, who are you riding with like regularly at the moment?
So this year, so in the past, I've always had a trainer, and we've worked
Yeah,
with like my trainer and my group with that trainer, with each team and whatnot. So this year, it's kind of nice with a little more freedom. So and with working with so many trainers, like I worked with Tyler Rattray and Caleb Russell and just a lot of different people, Zach Osborne, and so I kind of I know what I need to do personally, like as far as on the training side of it. I just like I said, it's good to have a good group with you. So I've got a like Thad Duvall down here. We're at a previous team's property, and we're just staying there. And it's me, Thad, and two of my previous teammates. They're actually my teammates now. They're riding for Enduro Engineering as well, but just a little bit separate deal. Not with Triumphs. It's a little separate thing. So
yeah,
they're A riders, and they're trying to move up. So um, with them riding with us, it pushes them, and we're pushing each other. So it's just kind of a good little group of group of guys that all, like I said, all want the same thing, all want to succeed, and we're just all having fun doing it kind of together.
Yeah, man.
But yeah,
Thad was,
right now there's only like, yeah, there's only four of us down here,
yeah,
four or five, training constantly. But we hook up with a lot of other people we do know when we do go to different motocross tracks and different places too. So, but yeah, no, Thad has the raw speed like no other.
yeah. He was so good,
So,
man. And before the
yeah,
injuries sort of just really cocked up his momentum, like it
for
was just like
sure.
for years it felt like, is Thad going to get Caleb this year? That was
Yep,
sort of the
yep.
thing. It was like, is this the year he gets him? And then he'd win a race, but he just, and then
It's
injuries just derailed all
uh,
that, a lot, didn't it?
it's a
Yeah,
it's a big part of our sport, which is
yeah,
unfortunate. But yeah, I've
it
dealt
is.
with
Yeah,
it too. It's like one year, yeah, you're on top of the world and everything's going great. You're podiums and winning races, and then the next year you're injured or something
mm,
happens at round one or whatever,
yep,
and you're just like, it's yeah, one end of the spectrum to the next. So, and it's hard the same. So when you get hurt, come back, and then you try to come back as strong, and it's just yeah, it gets a little bit harder and harder every time. So yeah, he's definitely been through it. Thad's had a lot of injuries, as well as many of us. But yeah, it's a bummer.
it is, man. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's the sport, isn't it? It's a cruelest fucking sport at times, isn't it? But then it's the best
Oh
sport
man.
as well. So
Yeah. Exactly.
that's we wouldn't. Yeah, we all still love it either way, man. Either way.
Yep. Yep. For sure. For
Cool, man.
sure.
Cool. I've kept you for a while, man. Thank you very much. And best of luck, man. I'll be looking out to see how that triumph goes, man. There's a couple of things I do towards the end of the show, man. I
Hmm.
always ask the US guests to give me your best Aussie accent.
Oh man. I should be all right with that, but because you know Daniel Milner.
Yeah,
Um, I was roommates
Jugs.
with Daniel Milner, yeah, for a few 2 years, or at least a
Yeah,
year. We were
yeah,
roommates, and
yeah,
then but I hung out with him, and then I hung out with a lot of Kiwis. There's a lot of Kiwis coming over here,
yeah,
so
yeah. Kiwis are
um,
fast, man. It's
they
always
are
Kiwis always are fast. Yeah.
they are. But yeah, I don't really know.
Give us your
Um,
best Daniel Milner impersonation there.
he would give me shit because he would never say, "Let's let's throw another shrimp on the barbie."
Yeah,
No,
well, it wasn't too
I
good.
can't do
That's all right,
it.
man.
But
No,
no,
it's all good. It's just a bit of
we would
fun,
give
man.
him yeah, we would give him crap a lot because that's like we would say that stuff and he'd be like, we don't actually say that. So,
Yeah,
but
we
yeah.
don't. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I know. I mean, I don't know him personally, but yeah, I mean, I've spoken to him before, and seen him. I've seen him race a lot. That's for sure. Yeah, he
Yeah, no, he's a
yeah,
good dude. He's a good dude for sure. And he went and tried a lot of world
yeah,
enduros and a lot of different stuff. So he came over here for 2 years, gave it a go,
yeah.
and then went and did some world enduros. And then I know he races a lot back home in
Yeah,
Australia
yeah.
too.
I
So pretty cool.
he came back last year and just it's a hard one, man, because he just dominates in Australia, man. Like he just
Yeah,
smashes everyone
yeah,
in Australia, sometimes you think like, is Milner getting bored out there, like, but
yeah. Yep.
Will Ruprecht, I'm not sure how you say his surname. He's coming back from the Worlds to race at the Aussies this year, apparently. I heard that, so
Oh
that might
yeah.
be good. Him and Milner might
Good
really, yeah,
competition.
that
Yeah,
might be good, because Will's really obviously stepped up his game in Europe since he left Australia, so that
for sure.
could be interesting. But it's funny, because Daniel, like he won the 6 days outright in like 17, I think 17.
Hmm.
And
Yep, it
just
was.
and
Yeah,
he dominated it, man. He dominated that. And
yeah.
then
It was impressive.
but then in the world enduro, it just, I think a lot of world enduro stuff, man, a lot of it comes down to getting that right team with a lot of support around you and that sort
Yeah,
of thing. It's
yeah.
such a big thing, traveling country to country and all that. Like, I think there's a
Yeah, there's
lot
a
in,
lot to it.
I
Yeah.
think he's probably, if he had got a world enduro maybe on the factory, KTM team
Hmm.
that say
Yeah,
the
yeah,
bike was the same and he got over there. And the other thing with Daniel too is the diabetes. I've heard interviews with him about
yeah,
different country, different foods, and upsetting his, diabetes and that
for
sort of thing.
sure. I don't know how he does it, honestly. It's
Yeah,
pretty impressive because that's hard, and to keep your blood
yeah.
sugar right
Because
and just everything.
when he desert races here, he has two camelbacks. One has
Yeah.
like a sugary juice in it, and one
Yep.
has his normal electrolytes. And so
Yep.
and I think he wears a monitor even, and when he
He
needs to, he
does on his
takes the
bar
sugar and
pad.
like it's
Yeah.
crazy, man. It's crazy. Look,
Whole nother aspect, whole nother thing to look at while you're racing when you're
you're
already
thinking
dealing with
about that,
the racing. Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
crazy, isn't it, man? Yeah, yeah.
for sure. But no,
Cool, man.
yeah, we were yeah, roommates for a year, and it was cool. And I actually got to come over and visit, and
Oh,
because
you
he's in
did, yeah,
Melbourne, and
yeah,
so got to
yeah,
spend a good week or two in Australia. That was cool.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's the way. Yeah, he lives down, sort of down Kuirup way. I think he was in the Kuirup Junior
Man,
Club. So down that way, down
yeah,
heading towards the peninsula down there somewhere, which makes no
yep,
sense to you, but the
yeah, I
the
know.
Aussie listeners might know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Cool,
And then
man. Last.
Mackenzie
No,
Tricker
no.
is another one. She came over a long time ago though, but
Yeah.
she's always
Yeah.
lived right near us in South Carolina. So
Yeah.
she was big moto girl, and then
Yeah.
um, she moto the women's moto kind of over here kind of went away. It's just not as big as it used to be, and so
Yeah.
she got into off road, and she's killed it and got some national enduro
Yeah.
championships, and then some GNC wins, and yeah, pretty cool. So
She has done.
another
Yeah.
Australian I want to throw out there. Yeah,
Yeah. She's one I've got to get on the show at some stage, I reckon. Yeah.
yeah, for sure.
I don't even remember Mackenzie racing in Australia. Like I don't even remember her
Yeah,
racing in
I
Australia. So
didn't know
I don't
her
know how
then,
young she
so
was when she
yeah,
came over, but yeah, I don't
fairly young for sure.
remember the name until she started doing really well in the off road in the States.
Yeah,
It's sort of when I
yep,
first sort of remember her.
for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. Cool, man. Last thing I do, man. The outro
Hmm.
to the show, man, is I sing a little bit of Kenny Rogers, man, for the outro song, and it's pretty weird, I know, and I won't bore you with the reasons why I do it. It's a thing that started, and I just sort of kept it going, man. It's the outro song, and I always say
Yeah,
if you know the words to Kenny Rogers the Gambler, then you're more than welcome to join in, man. So I'll
sounds
just
good. I
I'll
don't
just
even
give
know it.
you might pick it up
Yeah, as it
as I
goes.
get into it. Yeah. So I'll get into that. So I handed him my bottle, and he drank down my last swallow. Then he bummed a cigarette and asked me for a light. And the night got deathly quiet, and his face lost all expression. Said, if you're gonna play the game, boy, you gotta learn to play it right. You got to know when to hold 'em, know when to fold 'em, know when to walk away, know when to run. You never count your money. When you're sitting at the table, there'll be time enough for counting when the dealing's done.
Oh, dude, you're pretty good at it.
Hey, yeah, it's just a bit of fun, man. Yeah, sometimes I don't know if I'm going to keep doing it forever. But thanks for coming on the show, man, and yeah, best of luck for the season. And I'll look forward to seeing how you and that Triumph go this year.
Appreciate it. No, thanks for having me on. Sorry, I was such a pain to lock down and get on. So I'm just happy to talk to you for a little bit, and thank you.
Cheers, man. Thank you.
All right, see ya. Bye.
See you, man. Bye.